All right, there are a lot of folks that looked at something that happened involving a child and a drag performer at a so-called family-friendly drag show in Tennessee, an oxymoron, if you will.
Yeah, indeed.
Do we have the video? Can we show this? I don't know that we need the sound. What we need to show is this kid goes over there and she just sees a mermaid dress and it is feeling, and a lot of people are saying, that's kind of again, this is what happened. You put kids anywhere around a drag show.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, by the way, here's a fabulous performer. Yeah, that's class, right?
Wow.
See, even you're like, what?
Wow, right. And again, quote unquote, family friendly. These are not strip clubs. All right. So as we're watching and clearly reacting in the moment, that would be me, we're going to bring in our panel to react. Project 21 member Whitley Yates, panel of one fabulous gal. Whitney, thanks for being with us here. That video, the Little Mermaid with a twist.
I think it's terrible. I mean, out of all the places that you would want to bring your children, why would you drag them to a drag show? I think it's overly sexualizing our children. They didn't drag them to a library. They didn't drag them to a museum. They took them to a brewery in Tennessee for a drag show. And this is what's happening. I feel bad for the child, but more importantly, the ignorant parent that decided that this was a good idea.
Yeah, it makes a lot of, again, children do not need to go to drag shows. They don't need to go to strip shows, right? They don't need to go to drag shows. Let me move on to this, Whitley. CNN's Don Lemon tried to turn a weather event, a weather report, into an opportunity to push politics, climate alarmism. It really didn't go well. Look how awkward this was. Oh, hi, Amy. Hang on.
Tell us what this is and what effect climate change has on this phenomenon.
Well, we can come back and talk about climate change at a later time.
You said you want to talk about climate change, but what effect does climate change have on this phenomenon that is happening now? Because it seems these storms are intensifying. That's the question here.
I don't think you can link climate change to any one event. Okay. On the whole, on the cumulative, climate change may be making storms worse, but to link it to any one event, I would caution against that.
Well,
all
that
right.
was awkward.
Yeah, that was awkward. Don Lemon's having a rough couple weeks. All right, Amy Tarkanian.
Well, we're just seeing him. I've never watched him.
Well, we saw it with Hillary Ford, which anyway, that's a different topic.
That's what I'm saying.
Guess what? Right. All right, Amy Tarkanian. Yeah, it seemed like he really wanted to blame climate change for Hurricane Ian and other storms, but someone who's actually a scientist and an expert wasn't having it. What's up?
Right. Well, I give Don, if I were a teacher, an A for effort, but an F for failure to actually get the real scientists to cave into his agenda. So it was pretty clear that, as you put it, the scientist was not having it. The meteorologist was just there to give the facts and the facts only as he sees them and to present them to the public. And Don's little twist and turning of trying to add in some politics just wasn't going to work.
Yeah, and it's not just Don Lemon. We've got other members of liberal media trying to blame everything on global warming. For instance, listen to this. Climate change caused this. Okay, we don't have it, but I think that one of the things, Whitley, that I see is the effort by those in the so-called mainstream media to try to broaden the story of a storm into something political, when frankly, the people right now cleaning up in Florida, the people that are going to find out their loved ones are dead, they're not trying to engage in a political conversation. And by the way, to the credit of the governor, DeSantis, people have tried to create something between him and Biden, but you know what? He stayed above that fray because he knows how important this is.
Yeah, Don Lemon never ceases to fail me with his dim-witted comments. People are looking to CNN and other news sources to figure out what they should be doing and how they could be maneuvering to stay safe and not die in a hurricane. And he wants to utilize this to further push the leftist agenda that climate change is the big boogeyman that's coming after us. And they're looking for facts, figures, and science, and he's pushing the liberal agenda. And to be honest, it goes along with what everyone else is doing, right? They're spending billions of dollars on the reinvented Green New Deal that they have. And so they need reasons for them spending the level that they're spending and for them doing what they're doing in this country. He tried to utilize this moment of a natural disaster to push that agenda, and it fell flat. Do better, Don.
Yeah, and Amy, it just seems like, we had our Amanda Burlhanty reading social media comments. Everybody is seeming to politicize this on the left. But shouldn't this be a moment where Americans really come together to help out fellow Americans? We have more than half of the states in the United States reaching out to mobilize to help Florida, but the left just seems to want to push everybody apart.
And it's unfortunate because there are some news outlets that actually were hoping that Governor Ron DeSantis would fail, and they were calling this his make or break moment. Now, we do need to give credit where credit's due, because President Biden and Governor Ron DeSantis, they did speak, and the president so far has given everything that was asked of the federal government for assistance.
Yep.
And yes, you just mentioned the half of the states here in the U.S. that have already stepped up and reached out. And I think that this is going to be a wonderful moment for everyone to come together.
And that's the point, that even Ron DeSantis and President Biden, the governor, of course, they're staying above that. They understand this is serious. Meanwhile, you have anchors on TV trying to turn it into this broad thing of climate change. It's not, no. There's a time for that conversation.
Well, they would prefer good ratings, so everyone stops to look at a train wreck, and that's what they're hoping for, and that's just not what they're.
They have a lot of them over there. Okay, Whitley Yates and Amy Tarkanian, thank you so much for being with us.